So how does the Wraith feeding mechanism work? You'll find out right after this. Hey everybody, I am Taylor and I'm the Stargate Guy, where I talk to you about everything and anything Stargate. Today's another episode of How It Works, and we're talking about the Wraith feeding mechanism. The Wraith are a species in the Pegasus galaxy who are kind of like space vampires. They suck the life out of a human being in order to give itself sustenance. This is not done through biting a person's neck, however, or glistening in the sunlight, but rather sucking the life force out of them with their hands. Each hand has a little mouth on it, and if you look at this awesome artwork, which was the concept art for the Wraith in the pilot episode, we see that the mouth itself does have an open and a closed position. When closed, it looks more like a little slit that was tried to be sewn shut, but when it is open, it is a little mouth that has little tendrils and suckers that can attach to the person in order to keep the attachment strong while feasting on the human being. Later in Stargate Atlantis, we know that the Wraith inject an enzyme into their prey in order to keep the heart beating and to keep their human conscious and going while they are sucking the life force out of them. Now, we do know that Wraith can go for some time without feeding and can last several days comfortably without having another human life, and can live for a hell of a lot longer if they hibernate in between them. However, if they are conscious for too long and do not have enough human life to take out of somebody, they can go crazy, as was the case with Todd in an alternate timeline. We also know that while feeding, the Wraith can heal itself extremely rapidly, and that its ability to heal itself is directly proportional to the time they last fed. For example, if they are feeding off of somebody and you shoot them with a P90 several times, the Wraith will barely feel it and it will heal itself pretty quickly. However, if a Wraith has not eaten in a week and you shoot it, the wound, it will be more deadly and it would take a lot longer for them to heal from it. Now, in Stargate Atlantis, it is clearly stated several times that the Wraith drain the life force or take years off of a person's life. This is evident by clearly observation. When they feed, the person appears to get older and older and eventually turns into a skeleton and a little bit more than bone and skin. Therefore, it is commonly assumed that the Wraith take years off of your life or drain your life force. Now, we do know that the Wraith, being children, can be fed off of regular food that any human does eat. However, about the time that they would enter puberty, their dietary requirements change, and that they need to instead eat the humans instead of eating the human food. Now, we do know then that they have a regular digestive tract very similar to us humans, since they did eat the regular food that humans would eat when they were young. However, the need to take human life is what really sustains them as an adult, even though they are still capable of eating food and deriving a moment's pleasure from it. Although in Stargate Atlantis we are given all of these clues as stated before that is Stargate canon, I would like to add a little bit that is theory, so this is theory time here. I theorize that when the Wraith are taking years or life force out of human beings, what they are really doing is taking water out of the body systems. Now, this would be a massive shock to the body, and therefore a stimulant is needed in order to keep the body alive and beating while the Wraith is retrieving this water from our systems. We know that roughly 60% of the human body is water, although that is very depending on what study you read, but we do know that pretty much all of our organs have some sort of water base in them, and that this water is essential to human beings being alive. We also know that human beings cannot last more than 3 days without drinking some kind of water, but we can last for 7 days without some kind of food. Water is essential to our life, and without it, we would not exist. Now, several times when you see the remains of a human after a Wraith has fully fed off of it, it looks, I don't know, dry, barren, about ready to crumble and fall apart. A good chunk of that is a massive, massive loss of anything water-based within the human system. Skin would not be the same type of skin that we have without water. It would dry up and then it would shrivel up. Our internal organs would be kaput. Everything in our body, pretty much, except for mostly our bones and a couple of other bits, would all be really dried up. Now we also know that Wraith, a good chunk of their body is comprised of the same water substance, except they don't necessarily drink water, but they eat humans. We do know that they have blood, which is liquid or water based. We do know that they do have internal organs. They do have bone, among other things, and a lot of that is also water based. They cannot live without some type of water, but there is no indication whatsoever that they keep stores of water aboard their ships and that they drink water regularly. However, we do know that they feed regularly on us humans, who, as we've stated before, is the majority water. Therefore, the Wraith, using their abilities to multiply their cells again and again and again in rapid succession, if they have recently fed on a human being, ipso facto taken more water to build more cells and make repairs to their own body, it seems pretty clear to myself, and hopefully to you, that the Wraith, when taking life force out of a human being and feeding with their hands, are not taking years off of our life, but are taking water out of our bodies, which make us appear to get older, wither away, and turn into a pile of dried bones. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section and down below, and let me know what you would like to have me explain as well in the comment section. If you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. Great videos are coming out every week where I talk to you about everything and anything Stargate. You can click right here for another episode of How It Works, or you can click right here for some more Stargate awesomeness. And until next time, I'll see you on the other side.